Imagine standing in a room surrounded by friends, allies, people you trusted, men you promoted, men you spared, men who owed you their lives. Then, a blade flashes, then another, and another. 23 knives later, the most powerful man in the world collapses onto the Senate floor. Murdered, not because he failed, but because he succeeded too much. This is the story of a man who was kidnapped by pirates, crushed every rival in his path, conquered an empire, and became so powerful that he had to die. This is the story of Julius Caesar, the man who saved the Republic and paid for it with his life. Our story begins in Rome, nearly a century before Christ, but not the Rome of marble statues and shining temples, but in Subura, one of the city's most dangerous neighborhoods. A maze of crowded streets, open filth, and people surviving day to day. In this place, a boy was born who should never have mattered. His name was Julius Caesar. He belonged to an ancient bloodline that claimed descent from Venus herself. A prestigious name, but their fortune was thin. Even as a boy, he refused to know his place. He was sharp, obsessive, unwilling to submit. While Rome's elite hid behind marble walls, Caesar grew up among the crowds. Long before Rome noticed him, this boy had already understood something vital. Power started with the people. As a teenager, Caesar watched Rome fall into civil war. Romans turned on Romans, brother turned on brother. And in the middle of that chaos, Caesar made a dangerous choice. He married into a powerful family and on the wrong side of the war. And when the fighting ended, his side lost. And suddenly, Rome fell under an iron grip of a ruthless dictator named Sulla, a man whose list of enemies was long, and Caesar was on it. Sulla ordered him to do one simple thing: divorce his wife. Caesar refused to bend. And with that refusal, everything was taken from him. His inheritance, his name, his place in Rome. Branded a traitor, marked for death. At only 18 years old, Caesar fled Rome. For an entire year, he lived in hiding, moving from house to house, bribing bounty hunters, sleeping with one fear in mind: that the next knock on the door would be his execution. Eventually, friends intervened. Sulla relented. Caesar was allowed to return, but the boy who fled Rome did not come back the same, because one truth had been burned into him forever. Justice does not protect you, power does. At 25 years old, Julius Caesar was still unknown. No army, no title, no power, just a young Roman noble crossing the sea. Suddenly, the ship stopped. Out of the morning fog came black sails, pirates. They swarmed the deck, blades drawn, but still, Caesar was unfazed. They set a ransom for his return. Caesar scoffed and demanded they double it. For the next month, Caesar lived among his captors. He trained with them, joined their games. He warned them that once freed, he would come back and crucify them all. They laughed. They shouldn't have. Because once Caesar was released, he raised troops, hunted down his captors, ordered their throats cut, and had their bodies nailed to crosses. A mercy and a demonstration. Caesar had learned that authority did not require permission, only presence. And once a man understands that, he can exploit it. Back in Rome, Julius Caesar did not return quietly. He returned hungry for power, and he would find it in the most dangerous game of all, politics. But Caesar understood something most senators didn't. Power didn't begin in the Senate. It began with the people. So, he funded games, lavish festivals, public feasts, spectacles so extravagant Rome had never seen anything like them. He became wildly popular and catastrophically in debt. He borrowed enormous sums of money, not because he was reckless, but because he was buying loyalty, influence, control. But popularity alone wasn't enough. Rome was controlled by powerful men with armies, men with fortunes, men who could crush a rising politician without lifting a sword. So Caesar did something radical. He forged an alliance. 3 men, 1 goal: to run Roman politics from the shadows. The first triumvirate: Crassus, the richest man in Rome, banks, mines, secret deals. Pompey, Rome's greatest general, beloved by his soldiers, feared by his enemies. And Caesar, the orchestrator, the mastermind, the man with the support of the people. Individually, they were powerful. Together, they bent the republic to their will. They passed laws, crushed opposition, divided power among themselves, and with their backing, Caesar rose to consul, the highest office in Rome. But consul was never the end goal. It was a stepping stone, because in Rome, true power did not come from speeches, it came from legions. And soon, Caesar secured something far more dangerous than influence. He secured command of an army. And beyond the borders of Rome, a war was brewing, the Gallic Wars. Gaul was not a single nation. It was a patchwork of tribes, warrior cultures, constant rivalries. To Rome, it was unstable. To Caesar, it was glory. Because for the next decade, he conquered. Tribe after tribe fell. Village after village burned. Gold, slaves, glory. Every victory made him richer. Every battle made his legions sharper. Every command made his name echo louder across the Republic. Gaul wasn't just losing, they were bleeding. If they didn't unite, they would disappear. So they chose a leader, Vercingetorix, young, noble, fierce. One people, one leader, one mission: to break Rome. But he didn't meet Caesar in open battle. He ordered crops burned, towns destroyed, food supplies erased. If Caesar wanted Gaul, he would have to starve for it. The two sides would clash in one final battle, one last stand. Alesia, inside, a trapped Gallic army. Outside, Rome. Caesar surrounded them, and he built a wall, miles long, towers, trenches, spikes hidden in the ground. But scouts brought bad news. A second Gallic army was marching, tens of thousands more. So what do you do when you're besieging one enemy and another is marching to kill you? You build another wall, facing outward, Now Caesar wasn't just besieging Alesia, he was trapped between two enemies. If the inside army broke out, or if the outside army broke in, Rome would be annihilated. For weeks, they waited. Food thinned, morale cracked, the air smelled of fear and damp earth. And then, in the dead of night, the horns sounded. The relief army attacked from outside. Vercingetorix attacked from within. Fire lit the darkness, screams tore through the trenches, and in Rome's darkest hour, Caesar disappeared, not behind the lines, on the front, shield in hand. The men saw him, and they did not retreat. They counterattacked. By dawn, the relief army was shattered. The field outside Alesia was silent. Inside the fortress, Vercingetorix understood the truth. It was over. He rode out, alone, and laid his weapons at Caesar's feet. Gaul had united, and still, it wasn't enough. At Alesia, Caesar didn't just win a battle, he was becoming bigger than the Republic itself, and Rome would soon realize it had created something it could no longer control.